Yeah, welcome to yet another episode of Mr. Vamos Dissects. It's a very hot Friday evening here. Kampala is really scorching recently, and I encourage most of you guys to hydrate, drink some water, drink some juice. For those of you that have not checked out Dora's juice, please check it out. She has like 500 milliliters, 1 liter, 3 liters, 5 liters. You need to get a juice right now to hydrate you because, sunshine is too hot, yeah? For those of you who are new on the channel, Mr. Vamos Dissects talks about football, breaks down football, analyzes, gives you guys a few tips here and there about the beautiful game. So don't forget to like, don't forget to share, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to give me a mention elsewhere. You never know, maybe the sky is still the limit and things like that. Well, in today's episode, we'll be talking about the return of most of the European leagues, yeah? The Bundesliga, the French League One, Italian Serie A, English Premier League, and maybe a recap of what happened last week. And then we'll also give you guys a snippet about what's happening in the transfer window. Well, we'll start from the English Premier League. We'll dissect two games in the Premier League, give you guys some predictions. Italian Serie A, we have some two big games inside there. German Bundesliga, we have some games there, and then the Spanish La Liga. Start from the English Premier League. The biggest tie of the weekend might be Arsenal taking on Aston Villa. Arsenal actually hosts Aston Villa. Well, Arsenal got back to winning ways against Spurs. I think this Spurs is a very dilapidated side. And Postecoglou, they've really flattered to receive very many times. And of course, Arsenal has been beating these guys in London derbies from since I can remember. Unai Emery, on the other hand, former coach of Arsenal, will be trying to get his ship back together. They've actually won two on the bounce. They've not been making results recently, but actually secured a 1-0 win inside there against Everton. And Everton side that actually knows how to lock the bus didn't give David Moyes a good return back to the Goodison Park. Well, this game will be interesting because the last time these two sides versed each other, Arsenal went on to win 2-0. And then the fixture before that, when Aston Villa went on to win 2-0. But very many of you people remember that Aston Villa is the one that actually took Arsenal off the trophy maybe 2 seasons ago. This is going to be a very interesting game. Aston Villa is fresh from signing Daniel Malen from Borussia Dortmund. We'll see if he'll be able to, if he's in contention to get into Unai Emery's squad. Well, I'll start from Aston Villa's point of view. Oli Watkins, who has not been scoring goals recently, actually scored against Everton, the sole goal that actually gave them the 3 points. And then the bad man, John Duran, has actually, ever since he got the red card, he's not really been bringing in the goals. I know that very many people have been wondering if he's actually one to rely on again. But well, we'll see how that goes. And then I think the spark for Aston Villa will be Morgan Rogers. He's actually been hot this season. For a player that actually does the celebration of Cole Palmer, he's actually been very cold inside there. He's been pulling the strings for them the whole season. So for Aston Villa to take on Arsenal and pull a win in this one, they'll actually need him to be on fire. They'll need him to be at his peak. Arsenal, on the other hand, well, against Tottenham, actually, there were flashes of the Arsenal that we have been seeing in times and times before. Yeah, Odegaard was back pulling the passes, pulling the strings. Leandro Trossard playing some good football. Lewis Kelly, the kid that's actually playing left back, was actually very instrumental inside that one. At his press conference, was talking about how he actually put in a solid display to show his grandmother that he wasn't a kid anymore, something that was very beautiful to watch. And then I think Arsenal actually bossed the game against Spurs midweek. Yeah, comfortable 2-1 win for Arsenal, I would say. If they actually had a striker inside that one, that game would have actually ended maybe 5 or 6. But you all know that Arsenal's problem is a goalkeeper. So this is going to be a heated game. It's going to be attack from either side. But you know, Arsenal guys know how, Arsenal players know. I think their mentality is actually up there. They know how to chase you as if you've stolen something, yeah? Of course, Gabriel Marleng is coming through again with a goal in that one. I think he's one of the most highly scoring defenders in the world right now, yeah? And then, of course, the Arsenal set piece coach is someone that has been working on something with those Arsenal boys. So you expect them to be very thorough on the set piece. Well, I think this game will be an interesting one to watch. But I think I most definitely expect this game to maybe have both of these two sides scoring, yeah. But I probably expect Arsenal to take this one. It will be a narrow one, but I expect Arsenal to take this one. But I expect Aston Villa to score in that one. Second big game for you that we might have this weekend, we will have we have Liverpool taking on Brentford. There's not a lot to talk about in this fixture. Brentford has lost to Liverpool in their last 4 outings. Although Brentford is actually solid at home, they've actually lost once in like 10 appearance at home. So it will be a nice one to watch as well. Johan Wiss actually broke Ivan Toney's goal scoring record in that one. He's now Brentford's all-time top scorer. But Liverpool, on the other hand, two wins on the trot, back to winning ways. I guess it will be interesting to see how they actually line up against this one. Diogo Jota actually came off the bench. Diogo Jota actually came off the bench to secure a draw for them. Stuff has not really been interesting for Liverpool. They will hope to get back to winning ways against Brentford. So this will be also an interesting clash. Expect both of these two teams to score as well because Liverpool's defense is also leaky. But Liverpool will take this one away from me. Nottingham Forest taking on Southampton. Look no further than a Nottingham Forest win for you. Leicester City, and then we have Leicester City will be taking on. As it's skipping me, they will have Chelsea taking on Wolves. Chelsea has had. I don't know if the tablets were giving us the correct information, but very many Chelsea players are actually a doubt for the game. Yeah, Cole Palmer is a doubt. Colwell is a doubt. Enzo Fernandez. We're not really thorough on this information, but of course, expect both of these two teams to score. Chelsea actually has a very leaky defense. The Badia Shields and company and all those guys. I don't expect them to keep a clean sheet recently, but most definitely, I think Chelsea will pick the win inside that one. Wolves will actually score a goal inside that one. Man United takes on Brighton. Fresh from beating Southampton in a game where they looked lackluster in the first half, and then they actually turned the tide in the final 10 minutes of the game. Amad Diallo coming through with a hat-trick. It will be pretty interesting. Brighton actually fresh from winning their last game 2-0 in that one. Was a nice Brighton beating Ipswich. Ipswich is actually a very tricky opponent to face. Brighton came through and beat those guys 2-0. Mitoma getting a goal. I don't know if it's the resurgence of Mitoma again, but against Man United, I expect both of these two sides to score in that one. So very many of you that are looking, maybe both of these sides to score and then another 1.5 for you in that one. Man City takes on Ipswich, or Ipswich hosts Man City. Ipswich is versing a Man City that's actually triggered an extension in Erling Haaland's contract. Erling Haaland goes until 2034. And then Man City has begun winning games again, which is something I've been telling you guys that will be crazy for you. Because when Man City begins to win, I expect them to go on a roll of wins, yeah? So I expect Erling Haaland, who is fresh from signing a contract, to put in a brace in that one. Man City takes a sweep of Ipswich and takes them home. And then we've spoken about Chelsea, we've spoken about Liverpool, we've spoken about Arsenal, we've spoken about Man United. And then Newcastle, of course, Alexander Isak is a man on fire right now. Newcastle is taking on Bournemouth. Bournemouth without their two strikers, that is Unal and Evan Nilsson. Both of them got long-term injuries and they'll be out. But of course, they'll be relying on Justin Kluivert, yeah, and Semenyo. Semenyo has actually been on hot form one of these days, huh? So they'll be relying on those two guys, but take nothing away from Alexander Isak. He's now chasing Jamie Vardy, and he's chasing Jamie Vardy's record of 11 goals in a row, 11 straight goals. Yeah, that record is still up for grabs. Of course, Jamie Vardy surpassed Ruud van Nistelrooy's record of 10. So you expect, of course, Newcastle to take the 3 points in that one. I don't expect them to blink in that one. When we get into the Spanish La Liga, like I said, Atletico Madrid is a team on fire. They've taken 15 straight wins. Yeah, something pretty impressive from Diego Simeone's side. Atletico Madrid will most definitely give you guys a win. They'll be taking on Leganes, which is a sure 3 points for them. Real Madrid will be taking on Las Palmas. I expect Real Madrid to take 3 points in that one. It will be nice to see the likes of Endrick actually coming off the bench to score. He scored a brace inside that, and of course, Freddy Valverde, he's not a normal individual. Scored a blockbuster in that tie inside that one. A win that they managed to put to bed in extra time. So of course I expect Real Madrid to put in the points inside that one. Barcelona takes on Getafe fresh from scoring 5 goals in their last 2 encounters. I expect Barcelona to take that one most definitely a win for you. In the Italian Serie A, this is where the action will be. We have Juventus taking on AC Milan. Important to note that Juventus hasn't lost a game this season. Well, they picked 7 wins and 13 draws. They're actually the draw specialists in Italy. When they verse AC Milan has actually gotten a new coach in Conceição. This is a coach that, he has this famous celebration of winning games and using his cigarette and all that. Yeah? And for AC Milan, they'll be without Alvaro Morata, who has been actually instrumental for them in putting in the goals. But of course, Tammy Abraham will deputize him well, the person who scored the winning goal in their last final. And then Rafael Leao will actually lead from the front. For very many of you who are not aware, that Rafael Leao was actually being benched by the coach that was at the realm before this new guy came through. And then you ask yourself why a coach would be benching a player who is able to change a game in a blink of an eye for other players that are actually not delivering the goals. Of course, Christian Pulisic has been pulling the strings for them. He was also instrumental in them winning that final. But I think this game will actually be a draw. I don't expect any of these two sides to have the venom to come to and take the win. This game might be this game. I expect this game to go in a draw. Both of these two sides to score. Yeah, Juventus maintaining their unbeaten streak, and then we'll have a clash of the Titans. Atlanta taking on Napoli. Napoli is actually top of the Italian Serie A. Yeah, they've been having the resurgence of Scott McTominay, a player from Man United that is now bossing the Italian Serie A. And then Lukaku, who has also been inspirational under Antonio Conte. Atlanta were actually toothless last time out when they were playing Udinese, a game that ended 0-0. Very many of you were left crying and wondering how Atlanta, that has been firing from all seasons, has actually drew at Udinese. They'll be boosted by the return of their main striker, Retegui, who is actually, I think, the second top scorer in the Italian Serie. That's if he's not the first. And then Napoli will, of course, Napoli during the week received news that the main man, Kivicha Kvaratskhelia, was actually leaving the club. A very emotional video that he posted to bid farewell to his guys, and they'll be looking for someone to replace him. I've seen they've actually made a bid for Alejandro Garnacho. But in this game against these two sides, Atlanta was very toothless during the weekend, but I think they have a lot of firepower in their defense. So I expect, if you guys are looking into this one, I think you give Atlanta an X on this one. That's either Atlanta win or a draw. And then when we go into the German Bundesliga is pretty interesting. Frankfurt takes on Borussia Dortmund in a game that will be interesting. I don't expect Frankfurt to field Omar Mamouche, who has actually done a here we go with Man City. I think Man City will be scary to watch. And then Dortmund has flattered to receive recently. Of course, important to know that they've been looking at Eric Ten Hag to come and take the realm ahead of Nuri Sahin, who has actually failed to deliver the goods. And yet I think Dortmund actually has a good squad on paper. Don't know if they're affected by injuries. Players like Marcel Sabitzer not being around to maybe call upon and all that. But they have players like Gittens, who is actually rock solid. He's actually fire on the side. So I don't know what's not happening for them. But I expect this game to go in maybe both teams to score in this one. But some of the sure wins I'd give you in the German Bundesliga, we have a Bayern Munich that I expect to take 3 points in that one. We have Leipzig. Leipzig got two of their strikers sent off. That is Louis Openda and Benjamin Sesko in the last game that they played, and they play a Bochum side that doesn't really make points, but they'll be boosted by the return of Xavi Simons. Interestingly, this is one of the bright sparks in Europe that has actually been out injured, so I expect them to take the win inside that one. Bayer Leverkusen, of course, continues to be impressive. I think they've racked up about 10 straight wins. I expect them to take on a win in that one as well. And then in the French League One, we have Lens taking on PSG. I expect PSG to take a win in this one. Of course, Kvaratskhelia is actually completing a medical with those guys, so he will be checking in anytime. And then Marseille takes on Strasbourg. I think Marseille takes on this win for me without even thinking a lot of things. Yeah. And then I think those are some of the games that I will give you guys this weekend. A really interesting weekend of action and all that. And you can also probably go to Portugal, put your money on FC Porto. Sporting Lisbon is actually back cooking sports. Go to Turkey, put your money on Fenerbahce. Besiktas has just brought on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. It's going to be interesting for Solskjaer and Jose Mourinho to come head to head. But I think it's a pretty nice call for them to make. Besiktas has been lacking confidence, and I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is one of the people that will give them confidence. So I expect Besiktas to cook sports this weekend. In the transfer window, I think it's pretty scary for very many people. I've been telling guys during the week that Man City has actually bought two central defenders, and then actually Omar Mamouche, who I think will be playing behind Erling Haaland or something. Omar Mamouche, for most of you that don't know, is one of he's actually an Egyptian. He plays on the national team with Mo Salah. Yeah, he's actually scored. He has, I think, 21 goal contributions this season for Frankfurt. So it will be interesting to see how Mamouche lines up in this one. And then for Guardiola, I think he's starting to do a rebuild because ever since he lost all those consequent games and all that, he's trying to like steady the ship. Kyle Walker has said that he's actually leaving the club. So he's brought in two more defenders inside that one to see how they line up the thing. Yeah. And then the transfer window is still, Rashford is still uncertain about where he's going to go. We'll keep you posted on that one. But of course, I'm not going to come through here and become Fabrizio Romano because he's the king of transfers and all that. Keep your eyes locked on that one. And then, of course, the only thing I think Arsenal actually needs, Arsenal has actually been linked to Zubimendi, who they expect. I saw Mikel Arteta talking about the transfer and some players whose contracts are expiring and needs firepower. I think Zubimendi is actually a very beautiful footballer. He's actually a good carrier of the ball and all that. He's been playing with Real Sociedad. So I expect that will be a good signing for them. But the main question is, can they actually sign a striker? Because I don't think Kai Havertz and co are going to really deliver the goods the way you want them to. And then, of course, Gabriel Jesus is now injured. Bukayo Saka, I saw him on clutches the other day. Quick recovery to the lad. So we expect them to actually look for a striker in that one. Well, I think I don't want to over make it long and know that. I just hope you guys enjoy the weekend. The entire league returns this weekend at Luzira Maroons grounds. Will be pretty interesting. There's going to be a tie inside that one. We have Kalele taking on Ensai. Very beautiful game of football, I expect. These are two teams that have actually been impressive this season, yeah? So I expect a fluid game of football. I don't expect the game to have like very many goals because I think I think Ensai is very conservative at the back, yeah? And then Kalele is very attack minded. It all comes down to, do they stop Bromfield from going on? Main man has 13 goals in the league. I think he's actually made the league. He's I don't know, even the word has actually skipped me, but he's taking he's actually carrying the league on his head. Yeah, we hope if Ensai guys can actually stop him, then maybe we will see an entertaining fixture in that one. But sure, gets to the Maroons ground and see how this one goes. I think that's all we'll have for you guys. In case you have any feedback, in case you have something you want to shout out to us, don't forget to reach out to us on all the social media platforms now. That's TikTok, Mr. Vamos Dissects, Mr. Vamos 256. That's on Twitter, the Mutagwenda, the Duncan guy. It's been nice, it's been real. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Vamos, we go again.